Hi, this is George Loker with Tech App's Day 6 video. If you are just joining us, please return back to Day 1 on the slide and make sure that you start with the very first video. Very important that you're watching the videos, regardless if you're able to complete the assignments without the videos, to make sure that you're getting all the details. This is basically what I would be saying at the beginning of class. It takes a little bit longer to do it like this than, say, if I was in the class. But let's go ahead and jump right on in. First, before we get started with number 8 for Day 6, let's take a look at how we did and how many completed their assignment from the attaching of the focus to your Google Classroom assignment. So this is what it looks like on my end. This is second period. Even though I can't see the preview, this student did do it right. So we had about 4 people in this class. This one wasn't quite 100%. Which I've given you some feedback on that. If you'll go in and look at the comment that I left, what's going on in your focus. But the rest of y'all did not attach your document yet. And we also had some people turn in the assignment. See where that number 9 is right there? 9 people turned in the assignment, but this is not an assignment you turn in. The focus and exit answer sheet. The problem is in Google Classroom, if you turn the assignment in, you lose access to it. And so I don't want you to do that. When you're the owner of the document, it's kind of complicated, but in the way Google Classroom works is when you create a document, you're the owner of it. When you turn it in, you are no longer the owner. You transfer the ownership over to the teacher, and you can't edit it anymore. So I usually will not have you turn in an assignment. Now, mark as done is different. Mark as done removes an item from your to-do list. But if there's no work attached, that's not a big deal. And sometimes we'll do that, especially with this at-home learning. I've done that already a couple of times where there wasn't a grade. I just needed to know that you got it done. And I am still waiting for some people to complete the first day survey. And I have entered that into the grade book for periods 1 through 4. And I will get periods 6 through 8 entered here shortly. So if you haven't done it, now's the time to knock that out real quick. We'll get back to that in just a minute. But the focus and exit answer sheet does not get turned in. So don't click the turn in. Now, if you accidentally do turn it in, just unsubmit and you'll be able to edit it again. All right, so got quite a few people. I tried to keep it as anonymous as possible. You can kind of see your first initial there, so you kind of know who you are. But this one, I'm not sure what happened here, but that's not correct either. All right, third period. 8 people turned it in, didn't need to, have returned it back to you. Only 2 people got the document attached correctly. So that's not correct. The rest of y'all need to attach the documents. So this one was right. So it's going to say missing. I'll remove the due date after we clear a few days. That way it's not showing up in your to-do list. But I want to make sure that it's showing up in your to-do list until we get everybody to get their documents attached. So I should have 100% of people have a document that looks like this right here. All right, so let's go take a look at the focus. You're going to reopen your focus. So go back to either your classroom or your drive.google.com. Now, if you haven't attached it to your classroom, you're going to have to go to drive.google.com. If you have not attached the document, go back and watch Day 5. Now, I am getting a bunch of questions via email, texting, and also online, and it's clear that you haven't watched the video. So if your question is something that I've answered in a question, I'm sorry, but I'm going to direct you back to the video. You have to watch the video. I'm trying to record the videos in 15 to 20, 25 minutes. It normally would only take, maybe 10 to 15 minutes to introduce and discuss it, but I'm recording it with a lot of detail so that you can pause it. Now, if I'm going over something and you don't see the screen changing on YouTube, that means I'm talking and you can probably fast forward on it. But if you fast forward over some details, then obviously you need to slow down, back it up, and watch it again. All right, so let's go back to Day 6. This is Monday. It's a yellow slide on your focus and exit answer sheet. You should be on the yellow square. All right, so number 8, you're going to copy and paste just this right here. There's your answer, though. If you want to copy the answer, you can. If you got a good short-term memory, you don't necessarily have to. Remember, the stuff in brackets should not be in your answer, not in your square. So to copy it, we're going to drag from the 8 over to the end of the answer. Remember, the answer has to be put in the right place, though. We're going to copy that. We're going to go over here to the answer sheet, and this is where you might need to go back to drive.google.com and type in, if you can't find it, look for it. And if you don't find it, more than likely you're in the wrong account. So in the upper right hand corner, we see that I am in the at bmtisd.com. So in Chrome, I'm in my Beaumont account, and also in Drive. Now I know this is a little confusing. You're just now getting used to this, but there are two different accounts that we're talking about right here. The far upper right hand corner is Chrome, and a little bit lower below is your Drive, your Google Drive. There is a difference there. It's like talking about Apple versus Android. Up here, this is Chrome, and down here, this is Google. Those are two different, accounts. Now, you could be logged into both at the same account, and that's okay. So when I just made a copy of the focus and exit answer sheet, I couldn't find it in my Beaumont drive, and it inadvertently, I had accidentally put it into my Drew Loker at Gmail, and now we can look up here and see that we have two totally different icons up here. There's my Beaumont Chrome account, and here's my Drew Loker at Gmail account, and there it is. And sure enough, I'd made one the other day, but I couldn't find it. So this does happen a little bit, especially as you're trying to manage your Beaumont account and you're also checking your own personal Gmail. It is better to keep two totally different windows instead of trying to manage two accounts in the same window. Open up a new and change the login up here. So if you end up in the wrong account and you create the document in the wrong place, it's going to end up challenging you when you get ready to attach that document. But anyway, here it is. I opened it up, and we're going to go to day 6. Now, if you put last week's focus down here, that's the wrong place. This is day 6 right here, week 2, day 6. Double click and paste. Undo. Control Z. If you don't double click and you paste it in and it looks like that, it's red, that's wrong. Red is wrong. So double click, paste. It should be black. All right. So there's the answer. We're going to double click the line and type in ALT. And that's the alternate key, and get rid of the extra answer. That way I know that we don't have it in two places. So that's what it should look like. If it doesn't look like that, stop and go back and look at one of the previous videos when we first did this back on Tuesday and Wednesday. Both of those videos cover how to get this focus going back up here on day 2 and day 3. So we've done a focus on day 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're doing day 6. So what's going to happen at the end of this week, I usually grade 2 weeks at a time after I've graded this and this. I'm going to come back in and I'll grade each one of these days right here. And I'll put the grade in this column, column D. All right, I'll probably start making a pass through this week and taking a look at how your focus looks, but I can't grade your focus until you actually get this attached. So, for example, right now, I couldn't grade but 4 people in second period and only 2 people in third period. So I can't grade until we get it all attached, and hopefully this week everybody will get that attached and we'll get those grades in there for you. Okay, so let's go back and look at the focus. Keep us on track right here. There is a video. I've put a link right here. I'm not going to try to play it, and you may not be able to play it either. The audio wasn't very good. It was just a video on the TV, and I recorded it with my phone. I did use a tripod, so it's not bouncing around all over the place, but the audio is not real good. So watch it if you want. I'm going to tell you what the gist of it is. 40% of current jobs will be displaced by technology in the future. And this is from a video premiere about the oracle of AI, which is artificial intelligence. And it goes through, and this it's about 15-minute long video clip, and it goes through and talks about how artificial intelligence is changing everything, from automated driving cars to where there's no employees at a restaurant. And so it's something that I've been trying to pique your interest in. There's a screenshot of the oracle of AI on 60 Minutes, but this is my picture right here on this right hand side, and yeah, it's McDonald's. And we've already talked a little bit about it, but this is the future right here. But one of the things they show in the video right here is a restaurant where even the food is brought by robotic technology. There's nobody serving any food. From the order process to the delivery of the food, it's all automated. So real futuristic iRobot type of stuff. And this is where I've got my quote that you either embrace technology or be displaced by it. It's that simple. So really commit to what we're trying to learn here and dig deep. Pause these videos and make sure you're learning the concepts I'm trying to teach you right here. Now, for the rest of today's activity right here, we're going to be focusing on a new activity. A new lesson begins tomorrow, or actually begins today. Today, I will need you to have a piece of paper and a pen to complete the first phase of the activity. So we're going to be starting the autobiography in just a few minutes, but first about the student data and intro, the first day survey. We do need to get that in. At this point, I've already graded second and third period. Pretty easy grading. It's either 100 or 99, and 99 means you probably didn't do capitalization on your name or something like that. Just took a point off to get your attention. Let's make sure we're using those capital letters. Most of y'all did a good job with that, though. If you haven't turned in your survey, stop right now. Go back to day 2 and watch the video. Make sure you get your survey turned in because I've already posted those grades to your actual student self-serve. All right, so there's my comment about grading focus week 1 and 2. The exit's on your attendance. The focus is on the answer sheet. Let's talk about cap locks versus shift, control, and alternate. And we'll talk about keyboard comparison in just a minute right here. The cap locks key is a sticky key. You press it once, cap locks is on. You press it again, cap locks is off. The shift key is how you should be doing your capital letters. So as you do 15 minutes of typing today, 15 minutes is the expectation. Normally we spend about 5 minutes, but as we're trying to get our initial base where we are, and before you complete a speed skill test today, I do need you to get about 15 minutes, do 10 to 12 minutes of warm-up, practice on any lesson activity of your choice, home row, common English words, punctuation. And normally in class I would call time at about 10 to 12 minutes, and then you're to complete a 1-minute test and then a 3-minute test. So set you a 10 to 15 minute, 10 to 12 minute timer, and at the end of the 10 to 12 minutes, go do a 1-minute test and then a 3-minute test. So when you are ready to take your test, you're going to click on test across the top. Now, this is one activity that does need to be completed on an actual computer or Chromebook or an iPad. I did find out, unfortunately, an iPhone, even with a keyboard, or an Android, even with a keyboard attached via Bluetooth, unfortunately, those platforms do not allow testing. So you have to use an iPad, Chromebook, or actual computer. So you're going to do a 1 and a 3-minute test. The tests do not begin until you start typing. So make sure your posture's good, you're ready to go. You really want to try to get your hands above the keyboard if at all possible. You don't want chicken wings where your arms and elbows are out. You also don't want to have a Superman pose where your arms are extended, hyperextended out so that your arms are real straight. You want a nice short bend, and you really want to try to be above your keyboard. Please do not try to type this while sitting back in your recliners and things like that, or laying down on a bed. You want to actually be seated, maybe the kitchen table, get a chair, sit up nice and tall, maybe sit on something that gets you up a little bit higher than you normally would. There's an actual height that you really want to be at to be at the right height, but you want to try to get up a little bit higher than the keyboard. Now, putting the keyboard in the lap does not work, so that is not a good solution. You want to try to get your body up a little higher than the keyboard, but the keyboard needs to be on something fixed. So first, do your warm up. You should do your warm up with a good posture as well, and then you want to do a 1-minute test. And so when you start the test, it still doesn't start until you actually type the first letter. So my microphone is in the way of me getting a good typing, so I'm not going to try it. I don't even want to mess up my own record right here, but make sure you hold down the shift key and type that W with the left hand. So it would be the right pinky on the shift key and the left pinky on the W. Okay, so I'm going to back out, and if you make a mistake, all you got to do is back out, or if somebody all of a sudden interrupts you, it's better to back out of the test than to keep finishing or to keep trying to finish it and you're messing up. So just stop the test, because every test is recorded, and it does make for a running average, and so you want to make sure you do a good job with that. Okay, so let's go back to our focus, and the control key and alternate key are keyboard commands. The control key, you have to hold it down and then press another key. The alternate key is a sticky key. You press it, and the next key you press is also part of that previous. So it can actually serve as both a hold it down and press another key, or press it once and let go. So it does depend on what follows, but the alternate is a key modifier. So I do have a special page that I created talking about keyboard comparisons. So I prepared this keyboard comparison actually for myself as I was shopping around for different keyboards. And I have this one right here. It wasn't a very good keyboard, so I was looking for a little bit better one. And I ended up buying this one, the Logitech K780. And the reason why I really like it is because it allows me to switch between 3 different devices. And right now I'm carrying it back and forth to school because I'm using it at school. And if you do a lot of entry on your phone, you text a lot of people, you spend a lot of time on the messaging apps, this might be something you're interested in. So I'm sharing this page with you for 2 reasons. One, to show you the variety of keyboards, but also because you might be interested in maybe getting your own external keyboard. There is quite a range. I was actually pretty surprised to find that there were gaming keyboards that have like steel bearings and very high repetitive use keys. Most keyboards would not hold up to moving through a maze and hitting the same button over and over and over and over because you're like shooting or something like that. Or so some keyboards are actually designed for gaming specifically, and they get pretty expensive. But like this keyboard was only like $26. This one was a little bit more expensive. But the main thing I want you to see about this is the variety of keys and the size of keys, and also the depth. One of the biggest things about keyboards is how high the key is off the keyboard. And this is going to make a difference on how fast you type. And it's kind of hard to see here, but some keys may raise up maybe a 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter. And if you get used to typing on one, when you shift over and start typing on another one, some of them are quiet, some of them are pretty noisy. But another interesting thing about most of these keyboards that you're seeing right here is that they have a numeric keypad, they have an arrow key, but they don't have this traditional row right here that you would have on a full-size keyboard, which we'll see here in just a minute. So I'm not going to spend a lot more time on this. I've already spent too many minutes on it, but there are some full-size keyboards. And they also come in different varieties. Some are Bluetooth, some are with a little dongle, and some have both Bluetooth and a dongle. So if you're shopping, you might want to review this page. And I've kind of put my top choice, and I sorted this for the best I could, trying to narrow it down which one do I want to buy. And I ended up with this one right here, the Logitech K780. So anyway, let's go back over here, take a look at our autobiography assignment. And the first thing that you're going to do today, I'll put this in your classroom here shortly. but you do not need to start on it in Google Drive or the classroom. You don't need to create the assignment just yet. I'll go over that in tomorrow's video. Today, all I want you to write down on your own sheet of paper, and I want you to do this step. So even though I'm not going to collect the piece of paper from you, I would if we were in the classroom, I do want you to take the process of writing out the answers to these questions. Take a sheet of paper, number it, or title it Autobiography, and then put number 1, yourself. Describe yourself. Number 2, describe your family. Write some details about yourself, your family, your friends. Your school life actually has 2 questions. Your interest and hobbies. Number 6, how do you see yourself in relationship to your friends, family, and school? And a lot of times students get stuck on this question. So here I've put a few extra details in the parentheses. Are you the leader, follower, dependent on your friends? Are you the role model? So are you the one that makes the decision, or are you looking to other people to make the decisions? Then describe any unusual events in your past. What are your goals in life? What responsibilities do you feel you have to yourself, family, and others? Where, as in position, location, and career, would you like to see yourself in the next 10 to 15 years? So you're going to answer all 10 of these questions. There's 9 plus the A and the B right here on a clean sheet of paper. Now, the process that we're going to do with this, to kind of show you where we're going to go with this, you don't need to do it all on Monday. All I want you to do on Monday is to write out, take 15 minutes and answer these questions right here. So what we're going to do is create a rough draft. We're going to turn the questions into a full story. And then you're going to then type that rough draft into Google Docs. And let me show you what it's going to end up looking like. The final version is going to end up looking like this. And I actually have given you a link to my actual autobiography. You can click it and see it in full size. This is a screenshot here. So one last thing, start trying to collect pictures or images of you on a jump drive. That's if you're going to be coming into the classroom. That way I can help you pull your images in. Or you could also use photos.google.com. Main thing is, if you haven't taken any pictures recently, you might want to take some pictures. I normally would have taken your picture in class for your class roll picture. And without that, have your parents take a picture of you, take a picture of yourself. So what you're going to end up doing is actually putting some pictures on the autobiography that describe yourself. Pictures of you, your family that relate to the story that you're going to tell right here. So that's the upcoming assignment. We're going to do an autobiography in Google Docs and turn that in after a few days. We've got some time with it, so don't rush into this right now. Just concentrate on answering the questions to the best of your ability. So I think that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recorder, and we'll see you on the Zoom meeting today. Remember, watch the videos, and if you have any questions after watching the videos, please let me know what those questions are. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you back online later.